So,
Welcome,
welcome,
Reverend Redeem.
Reverend
Thank you
Redeem.
so
Thank you so
much.
much. Just
Just
talk
talk
to
to
me
me
a
a little
little
bit.
bit.
I
I
know
know
you
you
saw
saw
my
my
post
post
yesterday.
yesterday.
So
Just
I
want
just
to
want to
kind of
kind of
get
get
your
your
perspective of
perspective of
what's
what's
going
going
on
on
and
and
how
how
you
you
feel
feel
as
as
being a
being a
part
part
of
of
the
the board
board
and
and
also
also
a
a
reverend,
reverend,
all the
all the
above.
above.
Once again, thank you for having me. I've just been elected, uh, just been sworn in. Actually, my first school board meeting is going to be next week.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you, and I'm still going through all the policy and everything. But one thing that um, I would like to see our schools is anything that's distracting towards others who from getting an education. Um, those things need to be
The
removed.
The
distraction.
distraction.
Yeah,
That's a
it needs to be
Yeah, a
distraction.
removed. And
distraction.
and from what you have told me about this story with your daughter, this Blue Lives Matter flag is a distraction. It distracted the whole classroom virtually,
Right.
Right.
and it needs to be removed. And then you also told me that your complaint was not taken seriously.
Right.
Right.
Principals have not responded. That's unacceptable. A call should have been made to you the same day,
Yep.
especially in a matter like this. Like what you said, we're in a whole different political climate nowadays. Things like this need to be taken seriously,
Right.
uh,
Right.
and they can get out of hand if we don't.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I do believe that this flag, this Blue Lives Matter flag, it is a symbol of white supremacy. It is one of the several symbols of white supremacy. We see the Confederate flag, that is a sign of white supremacy. Let's just be real. The Trump flag that we see flying all across the country and that we saw flying at the Capitol today and that we've seen several times on the freeways during the election period, those are symbols of white supremacy. And so this flag with the blue strip in it, it is a symbol of white supremacy. It was started actually a little bit after the Black Lives Matter movement. It was in response to the Black Lives Matter movement because Black, Brown, and Indigenous people were saying that we're holding the police accountable, and we've been fighting against police brutality. Uh, we have those who back the blue. Um, they made their own flag and are now using it as support the police, back the blue, Blue Lives Matter. This is this is basically just to go against the Black Lives Matter movement. That's all that flag is. And also let me just share this. Do we need to support those who are in law enforcement? Of course, we need to support them as much as we can because they're people as well. They need to go home at the end of the day. But this flag, once again, is um, it is in opposition to the Black Lives Matter movement. When we say Black Lives Matter, and when we're talking about having body cams on police, and when we're talking about defunding the police and many other things, you usually see this flag pop up, and it's once again, it's in opposition to the Black Lives Matter movement and
Hmm.
our movement towards dismantling systemic racism and systemic oppression.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
let me know if you want to run for school board
Yeah.
because that's I'm just gonna
Leave
I
it
ain't gonna
there.
say too much about that, but we need
Leave
our
it there.
people to run for office. We need representation on our school boards.
Absolutely.
School board is a very important
Absolutely.
position, and we need to take that role very seriously.
Absolutely. That may be something I look
Absolutely. That
forward
may
to
be
next
something I
year,
look
whenever
forward
the
to
next
next year, whenever the next
election cycle is.
election
So keep
Yes.
cycle
me
is.
posted on
So
that.
keep me
You got to
posted
walk
on
me
that.
through that because I
You
have
got to
no
walk me
idea.
through that because I have no idea.
Oh yes. Yes.
So, all right. Well, thanks
So,
so much.
all
I'm
right.
going
Well,
to
thanks
bring
so much.
on
I'm going to bring on
Pastor Orion. I
Pastor
believe that's I'm
Orion. I believe
saying
that's
that
I'm saying that
correctly.
correctly.
The
The
correctional
correctional
officer,
officer,
or the
or
one
the
who
one who
actually
actually
bears
bears
this
this
flag
flag
and
and
believes in
believes
this
in this
flag
flag
and
and
represents
represents
this flag
this flag
and looking
and
at
looking at
from
from
the
the
Blue
Blue
Lives
Lives
Matter
Matter
perspective.
perspective.
All right. Thank you for having me, Pastor Charity Craig. I thank you.
Yeah.
I'm honored to be on this live feed with you. That blue flag, as a sheriff detention officer, like if it's just that blue strip, I'm probably going to look at that a little bit different as a parent. But if I see the, the military and the nurses and our EMTs and our military all represented, like, now I'm gonna look at it different because you're looking at the first responders. You're not
First
targeting.
responders one, because there's different variations of this flag.
Right. There's one
Right.
that is full on, and you see the corrections, you see everything that represents
Yep.
that. You look at it and say, oh, you clearly see that, okay, this represents all of our first responders who are there and putting their lives on the line for us. Okay, I get that. But when you see
Right.
that, just makes it that one entity. And so
Right.
I definitely, especially in the school setting, I can definitely understand why, even as a parent, I would even question. I'm like, why would you have that up in a school? Just one? Are you just telling me you only care about one part of the person's or what? And I'm like,
Right.
it doesn't.
Well, and this was a student.
Oh, it was a student.
This was a student.
Okay, student at home.
A
A student at home. It's in the background.
Okay, I see. All right.
And
So,
so a lot of the kids that are in the virtual classroom are like, they were upset.
wow. Yeah.
And so they're all chatting each other, they're texting each other, they're FaceTime each other, and the whole classroom is interrupted.
Got you.
So let me ask you a question. With this flag, do you guys wear it on your uniform at all?
No, to be honest with you,
Okay.
no, we don't. It's policy. When we do have a fallen officer, we wear our badge shroud. You seen our shroud, and we kind of wear the little black band, or we have a black and blue band that's over our badge. Other than that, you can't put that on your uniform. That violates policy. You can't wear no flags. I can't wear my African American flag. You can't wear your Blue Lives Matter flag.
Right.
So it is
So
what
then
it
it
is.
becomes a symbol, and so that's what I was saying. I guess in the setting of a school, the setting of a virtual, and I understand about, because like I said, that it's the setting.
Right.
Just kind of share from your heart and kind of your experience and some of your colleagues what this blue flag means to you all.
We just recently, I just lost one of my coworkers that I see every day. He was killed in a car accident on the A5. And it's tough, don't get me wrong, and I do understand, as a black man myself, as an African American man myself, grew up in an urban area in Inglewood, California. I understand why we have the rebuttal, because even as an officer, even since I've had the badge, I have been pulled over and racially profiled. And it made me laugh because this officer pulled me over, and I'm on my way to work, and he didn't know. And I'm in street clothes now. He noticed while he was like, "You got any weapons in your car?" And I said, "Yeah, my duty weapon. That's what I got in my car." And he looked at me, my duty weapon, and he looked in the back. He saw my uniform. He immediately backed up. He was like, "Oh, wait a minute, you work at 4th Ave?" I'm like, "Yeah. I will see you in the next couple of minutes. You have to answer to me when you get there." So,
Yep.
But still, it's just one of those things that I definitely understand. However, I always like to bring the positive to the narrative. Always trying to bring as much positive as possible, because still, I know I'm an officer, but I'm still a pastor and I'm still a man of God. That's just is what it is, and that holds more over my character and my integrity than what's actually taking place as of right now. As we see right now, what's going on in the Capitol. It holds over that. So if I know something that was meant for positive, I want to shine as much light on that positive as possible versus the negative. I understand that we have some people, some officers that say Blue Lives Matter. And I'm like, listen, there's no such thing as the Blue Life Matters. Amen. This is a representation of a fallen officer. This is nothing to have political gain on. This has nothing to do with trying to get more notoriety or anything like that. It has nothing to do with that. It has to deal with a fallen officer. Even on my wrist right now, I have our rubber band on. I have it right here on my wrist because of it says "Rest in Peace," or in memory of Justin Folsom, which was an officer I just mentioned, who was killed in a car accident. And this is why this flag exists. It's not just for police officers. The flag is there, and it's an American flag, and it has the color. You got corrections, dispatch, EMS, our military, our nurses, fire department. They're all representing that first responders that protect and nurture the American public. It's I wouldn't say it's a big deal to me, but it is a deal. I'll say it. And I want us to really understand the significance of it. And I understand, like I said, as a black man and raising 3 black daughters, black wife, and I understand. I get it. I really want her. If anybody get it, I know I get it. Okay, I had LAPD on my neck. It's different.
Right.
Growing up, and I understand it. However, if we want to become something better in 2021, we have to change the narrative. We have to change the narrative. If we want to do better, if we want to succeed to do better, if we want to see our communities do better, we have to change the narrative. And if there's one way I can change the narrative is by representing that oath that I as an officer. When I graduated from the academy, every single officer that I know said this oath. I'm going to protect it, and I'm going to treat people correct. Still holding that type of gratitude to where you actually look at people as people, and that's where I am. And I believe every officer should do that. So if it is a distraction, I would say that by integrity, just being respectful and taking it down. To be honest with you, if it is a distraction to the class, I would definitely be like, hey, as a teacher, I'm like, if you don't mind, it's a distraction. Can you please take it down? I would definitely ask that.
As
a teacher.
However, as a teacher, I would say that as a teacher. But in the settings at home, I don't have one here in my house. This is not on my wall. It's not going to be in my house. I'm going to be honest with you. That's something that is not going to be in my house because, like I said, what's at work is at work, not at home. But who knows? This family may be the family that lost somebody on the line. It could be a dad, it could be a mother, it could be a grandfather. Who knows? And that could be that memory of that individual. Who knows? I really can't say. However, if it is a distraction and you see the majority of the class being distracted, I would say that teacher probably should say, hey, I need everybody's attention. And right now that's a distraction. May you please remove it or move your camera a certain way so we don't see it, so we can continue in our teaching and in our learning. I think that's really important. I think that's respectful at the same time.
Disrespectful.
Yeah, it's very respectful. It shows respect and it shows that you actually care. It's not to disrespect, but to keep things in order, in decency, and I had to put that in.
There you go. A little pastor in there.
little bit.
Yeah. So
So
just
to update you, this was day number 2, and the flag was still there. No principal called me back. Nothing has been done. And they had a African American coach call me. Exactly. So
that kind of got my head on a squint a little bit, like
yeah.
Because like when you said what you just said, I was like, excuse me, what?
Yeah.
Day 2 of that, and for them to do something like that, it's not a symbol to symbolize and to disrespect and divide. It's kind of like how we treat the Bible as pastors. We have some of those. You have some pastors out there that love to divide the land in a way where it's disrespectful and it's hurtful. And it doesn't show the love of Christ at all. And same thing here. You're not showing the respect and you're not showing the love of your students and their parents when you react this way, and to butter it up a little bit. You see the African American coach, kind of showing, you kind of a little bit. I would question some things, and then I'm like, why you have to send a black man to talk to me? Can't you talk to me?
Right.
I'm like, I would think you would talk to me. Oh, you need my people to talk to me. Okay. I got you. Kind of showing yourself a little bit. So I definitely understand that, and I get the perspective that you're coming from, and I totally 100% agree where you're coming from on that perspective. Hey, it's all love, man. I don't have any issue with anything like that.
Yeah.
I'm all
Yeah.
about educating. Like, hey, if you notice my post, I didn't slam nobody. I'll just say, hey, just think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could be me. That can die in the line of duty, and I know it's people that know me and whatnot that like I get jacked up for even thinking about it. And I always say that when I hear the other side of it, other side of the coin,
Hmm.
the Blue Lives Matter and all that stuff. And I said, well, it could be me, and then what would you say?
Right.
Right.
Oh, bro, you gotta talk like that. But I'm like, I'm an officer. I'm on duty. I can
Yep.
get
Yep.
killed. So, and just saying it like that kind of brings it home. And I
Yep.
want
Yep.
to make sure that, we understand one another and we become a better people in 2021 for sure.
There
There
you
you
go.
go.
Because we
Because we
have to
have to
have
have
change
Definitely.
change
this
this
year.
year.
Last year
Last
was
year was
so
so
trash.
trash.
And it seemed like this year ain't starting out too good. What's going on today?
Right. What the we're barely day 6, and this is what we see.
Is what it is. And we just gotta stay prayed up this year and really get in God's presence. That's number one thing.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry that I turned church for a second,
You all
You all
right.
right.
That's what
That's what
that's
that's
who
who
we
we
are.
are.
but we can put two pastors and anointed pastors at the same time on the same live feed. It's gonna go
Is
church
what
somewhere.
it is. It's go ahead there. Either way it go.
Get some Holy Ghost. Come on, somebody.
Holy
All
Holy
Ghost.
right,
Ghost.
let's not go there.
But thank you
But thank
so
you so
much.
much.
I'm going to
I'm
end
gonna
it.
end it.
I'm glad you
I'm
gave your
glad you gave your
perspective,
perspective,
excellent
excellent
perspective,
perspective,
and
and
I
I
think
think
mission
mission
accomplished.
accomplished.
God bless you. I thank you, Pastor Charity. And
Yeah.
turn 180, get ready for that turn 180 because y'all about to rock the house out here. God
Yes.
bless you
Yes.
guys.
God
God
bless. We'll
bless.
talk
We'll
to you
talk to you
soon. Have a
soon.
good
Have a good
evening.
evening.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.